It all began with a small, innocent-looking gift that my wife, Sana, had left on the kitchen counter. It was a delicate bracelet, carefully wrapped in a velvet box, with a note that read, "For the most amazing dad ever, love always." At first I smiled. Our kids had been involved in some crafts lately, and I assumed one of them had given it to me. But something about the handwriting, the style of the note, and the way it was tucked away made me pause. It wasn't my children's handwriting. My curiosity grew into suspicion. Over the past few months, I had noticed subtle changes in Sana's behavior. She had become secretive with her phone, took sudden business trips, and spent far too much time texting someone I didn't know. I had ignored the signs, hoping my intuition was wrong. But now, holding this mysterious gift, I couldn't shake the feeling that it was connected to something far bigger, something I needed to uncover. I decided to act discreetly. I took the bracelet and note, carefully examining every detail. Then, driven by unease, I ordered a private paternity test. It was a bold move, but I couldn't ignore the possibility that one of our children might not be biologically mine. The kit arrived within a day. I collected samples carefully and sent them off, all while keeping Sana completely unaware. A few days later, the results came back. My heart sank as I read the findings. One of the children wasn't mine, not biologically. I felt a wave of shock, betrayal, and confusion crash over me. Questions swirled in my mind. How long had she been cheating? Who was the father? Why hadn't I noticed? The weight of betrayal was suffocating, but amid the despair, I knew I had to confront her carefully. Acting rashly would only give her control or make me vulnerable. I decided to go on a short trip to think, calm down, and plan my next steps. I packed my essentials and checked into a small, discreet motel outside town, hoping for solitude and clarity. I needed distance from the house, from the chaos, and from Sana's manipulations. But that quiet solitude was shattered sooner than I expected. Within hours of checking in, there was a knock on my door. I looked through the peephole and saw two uniformed police officers standing outside. My heart stopped. Panic surged through me as I tried to understand why they were here. They asked for identification and calmly explained that there had been reports of a domestic dispute at my home. Apparently, Sana had called, claiming I had left the house in a dangerous state after an argument and that I might be planning to harm myself or her. The situation was spiraling fast. What had started as private discovery now involved law enforcement. I explained the truth as calmly as possible, providing my identification and asserting that I had done nothing illegal. They listened, took notes, and then warned me that any further incidents could lead to arrests. I was shaken but relieved that no immediate action was taken. Still, the situation made one thing painfully clear. I had to act strategically. This wasn't just about betrayal anymore. It was about protecting myself, my children, and my legal standing. I realized I needed evidence beyond the paternity test. Proof of Sana's affair, documentation of the children's care, and records of her secret communications. Over the next few days, I discreetly collected texts, emails, and receipts that linked her to her affair partner. Every message, every hidden transaction, and every lie became part of the evidence I would use to protect myself and the children. The next phase was legal. I contacted a lawyer and shared everything I had discovered, including the paternity results. We formulated a plan to file for custody and divorce, citing infidelity, emotional manipulation, and deliberate deception. I wanted to ensure that the children's safety, my rights, and my reputation were fully protected. Meanwhile, Sana, oblivious to the evidence I was gathering, continued her life as if nothing had changed. She believed that I would crumble under the shock, that she could manipulate the narrative, and that the children's loyalty would protect her. But she underestimated my patience, determination, and careful planning. When the legal proceedings began, the paternity test became the cornerstone of the case. Coupled with the documented evidence of her affair, it left no room for denial. Custody of the children, division of property, and financial settlements were all decided in my favor. Sana's lies and manipulations had finally caught up with her. Looking back, I realized how close I had come to disaster. A simple curiosity about a gift had uncovered a tangled web of betrayal, deception, and risk. The motel, the police outside, and the emotional chaos were all part of the storm I had weathered. But through careful planning, documentation, and strategic action, I emerged stronger, more aware, and in control. Sana had thought she could deceive me, manipulate our family, and escape accountability. But the paternity test, the evidence, and my careful response ensured that the truth not only surfaced, but also secured justice. In the end, the gift that had seemed innocent became the spark that ignited a chain reaction of discovery, strategy, and eventual triumph. Betrayal had its moment, but truth and patience had the final word. I survived the shock, exposed the deception, and reclaimed my life. And nothing, not even the chaos of a motel surrounded by police, could undo that victory.